Hello Starcraft fans, this is Falcon Paladin coming to you with yet another daily Legacy of the Void upload. This is a game between Barcode and EverZTelecoM on Central Protocol. In the top left of Central Protocol we have the pink-red Protoss player, it is Barcode. And in the top right of Central Protocol we have the blue Zerg player, it is EverZTelecoM. Now I'm running Servant OBS as my observer interface, for those of you who did not know, and apparently Control-Shift-O no longer gets rid of this stuff. So tomorrow I'm going to contact the creator of this and just figure out what's going on, but in the meantime you have to see these buttons, which takes up a lot of real estate, I know, and I apologize in advance. Alright, so EverZ is actually opening up with a spawning pool here and an extractor without an early expansion against Protoss. That's a little surprising. We've seen Zerg players in the beta, at least for Legacy of the Void, go ahead and go for that early 15 hatch, 16 hatch, and then move on to the spawning pool and gas after that. But instead, that's not what's going on here, which was a bit of a problem because it looks like Barcode is going for an early... Oh, it's a Forge fast expand. Okay, Forge Gateway, possibly into a Nexus here fairly soon. So, maybe this is something EverZTelecoM wants to do. I know this is from the Korean ladder on the night that Legacy of the Void went retail. And so a lot of crazy stuff was going on, a lot of players playing and just kind of experimenting, trying to see what the meta was, trying to see just how exactly this particular matchup ZVP was going to work. A cannon is coming up here to block that expansion. So this is kind of it's a new map for me, Central Protocol. I don't think I've actually played on this yet, but it's kind of a space tile type theme. Here come some Lings out. They're going to try to knock down that pylon if they can see it in time. The Overlord might scout it out fairly soon here, and yes, he does scout it out. Some of the Lings might be diverted to go try to take care of that. It did actually finish, so it can't be canceled. The probe is trying to make sure no crazy third gets taken here as well. And there goes the Nexus with a cannon and a full wall off. So a very, very safe build here from Barcode. And these Lings will not be able to get through whatsoever. There are also these debris, which the Lings can try to break down, but that's not going to happen for a very long time. Technically, there are two entrances into the base, which means Protoss and Terran players are not going to be very happy with that. But here come the Lings for EverZ. They're going to poke right on up here and say, oh, all right, there's a full wall. That doesn't look like a full wall. Looks like there's a gap there, but I don't think the Lings could actually get through. Interestingly enough, that pylon did get taken down by some Lings. There we go. There's the expansion hatchery, but it is so late. It is so late compared to this Nexus. It's a Forge fast expand, guys. I don't think I've seen one of those on my channel ever. For Legacy of the Void, it's just it kind of fell out of vogue, I felt like, in the middle of Heart of the Swarm. Players started going for Nexus first and things like that. And yeah, just really, really weird. So, but it's working. I mean, it's working for Barcode. I really can't complain about that at all. The probe is still checking for a third base. Look how far these bases are. First base, second base, third base, way down here on the map. Same thing for Protoss, though. Really difficult to defend that way. These Lings are going after this debris, but the pylon up top and a cannon should be enough to hold them off. Meanwhile, production tab shows the Cybernetics core just about finishing, and this is where Protoss gets interesting. There's double gas here with 3 workers on each assimilator. And what is the answer going to be for our teching Protoss friend? This cannon is going to take care of these Lings, no problem whatsoever. The answer is going to be immediately a Mothership core. Okay, I can't really argue with that. Mothership cores are very, very integral to the strategy for Protoss and Legacy of the Void, as well as Heart of the Swarm gold base being taken by EverZ here as well. Trying to sneak one down there, not taking a third where the probe is looking for. The probe might go looking elsewhere if a third base does not pop up here very, very soon, because Zerg needs 3 bases is the answer. Basically, Zerg without 3 bases against a 2-basing Protoss is going to lose pretty much every single time. Yep, the Lings were forced to back off. Their production tab shows a Stargate, so I'm not sure if this is a Sky Toss type play. This does not center on my Stargates. I guess it does. So interestingly, right here, I think if the Lings got in here, they could see that. I've seen it already. So a Stargate, again, I don't know if this is just for some Oracle harass, possibly some harassment from some Phoenix, or if this is a full Sky Toss type play from our Protoss player. We will have to wait and see. The Lings are just making sure there aren't any pushes coming out from Barcode, but it looks like Barcode is content just to sit back, is not going to harass the Zerg player whatsoever. A huge drone transfer heading on down to the gold base here. And this probe is waiting in vain for a base to pop up. I'm kind of surprised Barcode hasn't sent this around scouting or sent something else around scouting, because, I mean, the Zerg is definitely not sitting on 2 bases here at the 4-5 minute mark. But there we go. The probe is now heading out. Let's see if my other hotkeys work. Can I follow this? I can. Interesting. Anyway, so kind of running around there, just experimenting with my interface a little bit. And yes, it is going to be an Oracle Harass. Going to swing on in here to the main base. There's a Queen and a Spore Crawler, though. Difficult to really get too many drone kills with this particular situation. Yes, does get a single one, but took so much damage. Doing so probably won't go back in there again for quite a while. Fully saturated on these gold patches, only 6 at this particular base. There's a Spore Crawler here as well, just in case the Oracle decides to show up. Just getting static defense against an Oracle or if your Phoenix can really make all the difference for players. Go ahead and do that. Go ahead and get those Spore Crawlers, those Spine Crawlers, if you feel like they're necessary, if your gut tells you you need them, it's really okay. So right now it's 53 to 45 total Harvesters. EverZ is definitely up on the Barcode Protoss. Immortals on the way, +1 ground attack on the way as well for the Protoss player. And EverZ is getting, looks like a Lair, a Roach Warren, and some more Overlords. So both players just teching up here at the 5-minute, 6-minute mark here. Nothing much has happened so far. And again, Protoss player seems very content. Just kind of sit back and let the Zerg do his thing. Inject. Do it. Oh, you're 2 back. You can queue up the injects, though. This is Legacy of the Void, so you'll notice that the Queen does have 25 additional energy. Can go ahead and spawn larva again on this hatchery, which means that when the first spawn larva completes and pukes out the larva, another one will immediately happen without the Queen having to do anything manually. So that's really nice if you find yourself with a lot of excess energy on your Queens. The Oracle comes swinging back on in again, taking shots. Gonna try to throw down a Warp Prism, and yes, does get the Warp Prism, freezing the Queen and a bunch of workers in place, all the workers on this gas. Oh, that's a good play. I like to see that indeed. The Warp Prism is a very, very strong spell. If used in the right hands, it's right there. Stasis Ward, not Warp Prism. Wow, it must be late. It is late. I had to wait for people to play Legacy of the Void and send me their replays, and it is currently 12:30 in the morning on Wednesday. So again, not a Warp Prism, a Stasis Ward. What it does is it freezes enemy units that come into contact with it for about 30 seconds or so, 24 seconds. And what that means is they cannot move, they cannot be attacked, and they cannot attack. So it's a good way to kind of slow down harvesting for your enemy or set up booby traps, things like that. This Overlord is still scouting everything out here. It looks like extended thermal lance on the way for the Protoss player. So, gonna go for some Colossus, it seems like. And you can hear the music in the background. If it's too loud, please let me know. Again, I'm trying to mess with it here in the Legacy of the Void. The volume levels seem to be a little bit different here, so if you have a hard time hearing me, please let me know. Or if the volume is at a perfectly acceptable level for that music and you love to hear it. It's very exciting right now, isn't it? It's like dun 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 dun. Oh, that new warping animation. Do you see that? Oh, that's so pretty. That's so pretty, that warping animation coming from the sky. Just like in the opening cinematic for Legacy of the Void. If you haven't seen that, like, watch that. If you don't have the game and don't have access to it, you can see it on my channel. I'll link to it up here, I guess. We'll have to remember to do that at the 8-minute mark or so. Creep spread. Nope, not creep spread, just poop and creep here. The Lings did provide an early warning system to let EverZTelecoM know that a push is coming. It is Stalkers, it is Zealots, it is Sentries, it is Colossus. So no actually Legacy of the Void units in this push from Barcode. Maybe doesn't believe in the power of the Disruptor, which I think is probably a mistake. The Disruptors are really, really good. But instead choosing to go Colossus instead, again with that extended thermal lance, tells me that Barcode is planning on committing to that strategy at least for a little bit here. Could probably switch things up to Disruptors a little bit later if they wanted to, but Blink's on the way, +2 attack on the way at the same time. 81 to 50 Harvesters, though, in favor of EverZ. 174, 179 to 124 total supply. EverZ is looking very, very strong indeed. The Lings are chasing probes off of Xel'Naga watchtowers. I mean, I guess there is an Oracle here taking some shots. Oh, this one might actually die, and it does. The Oracle dies before it can finish the Stasis Ward. It explodes and falls to the ground. This Ling trying to kill stuff. No. I'm actually running also at a bit of a higher resolution than I was with the Legacy of the Void beta. So I think there might be more screen real estate available even before I zoom out like this, which might be nice. I need to look back at some old casts to tell for sure, because right now I'm not entirely sure. Oh, also, I have this. Where is it? There it is. Getting rid of that whole bottom thing for the attacks like this. Here come the Roaches and the Hydras trying to get us around. Good force fields, though. A few Roaches and Hydras are on the inside, though, taking out those sentries, taking out Stalkers at the same time. But man, that Colossus in the back is doing so much damage here. Just one can do a lot, but getting focused down by those Roaches finally does end up falling. Now does Roach Hydra against Immortal, Stalker, Sentry, More units are warping in here, but they are away from a gateway or a nexus. They're going to take 15 seconds to warp. I don't know if it's going to happen in time before this whole army ends up dead, and it does. All the attacking units end up completely dead. These are just zealots. The zealots are on top of these hydras. They're going to kill a few of them, and they do get all the hydras at the top of the map there. But in the end, they do get cleaned up. This base has to be evacuated by Barcode. We're going to bring on back our map there, our mini-map, to see if there's anything that we're missing. But no, this third base just gets completely wiped out by the Zerg player. Again, the Zerg not going for lurkers. It's just a Roach Hydra composition. Fairly standard stuff. Indeed. Come on, guys. You can use some Legacy of the Void units. It won't hurt you. Forward pylon or defensive pylon being taken down there at the same time. The Colossus in the back. Colossus only has 2 kills, surprisingly. Oh, the burrow, though, on the Roaches, burrowing underneath the force field, getting right on top of these units. And, oh, warping in some units to try to create something of a wall. More force fields coming up. The Colossus does fall. The Colossus falls, and that's it. Barcode is defeated. EverZTelecoM is victorious, and Barcode has left the game. So, woo, pretty good attack there by EverZTelecoM. I just feel like Barcode waited a little bit too long to push out. He did try to get some harassment off with the Oracle, but only got 1 single kill on that Oracle. And in the end, EverZ just ended up getting 80 drones, got 3 or 4 bases, pushed in with a good Roach Hydra composition, some good micro, some good burrow decisions there, and won the game. So, fantastic stuff indeed from our Zerg player. Hope to see more of him in the future. Alright, so this has been Falcon Paladin with yet another daily Legacy of the Void upload. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe if you like what you heard and what you saw today. You can also catch me on Twitch, Twitter, and Facebook, all at /Falcon Paladin, and enjoy the music at the end of the cast. I've also placed some links in there for some merchandise you can get through Falcon Paladin. They are Starcraft themed t-shirts. Some of them are specific to my channel, some of them are just specific to Terran, Zerg, and Protoss races. Give them a look. I'll go ahead and again put some links on the end there. You can click and go to the store to check those out. So again, thanks always for watching, and until next time, as always, you take care of yourself.